name Abiono. Let me report openly that you spent 15 minutes for your oral presentation. So good job. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished professors and colleagues, shall we have comments on
you are recognized, sir. Professor S.A. Dosimu, thank you very much for coming, sir. Professor N.A. Sesonji, you're welcome, sir. Professor S.O. Makinde, thank you for coming, sir. And Dr. Alabi, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Okay. So please, shall we have, let's have comments on the oral presentation made by Mr. Ibikunle. Comments on the oral presentation. Okay, so I have Professor Akigotu, Professor Sulaiman, and that's Professor Dosimu. All right, please raise the other hand. Okay. Professor Akigotu, please.
Thank you very much. Let me first and foremost congratulate the presenter. You see, we did not expect less because the lecturer with us is a colleague. I believe all lecturers in the course of education are good. So you are good. The confidence was profound and the diction of erudition of the presenter was noticed.
Thank you, sir. Professor Sulaiman. Thank you, Prof.
Good afternoon, my dean and all professors here. Good morning, everybody. Of course, just like Professor Ibikunle said, it's like we don't expect anything less than what he has done. So that was fantastic. Good job, you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Prof, we appreciate you. Can we have Professor Dosimu? And then we'll come back to Professor.
Well, let me join the others in congratulating the presenter. Your words flowed like a river of Niagara. The pontifications were very clear. There's lucidity of expression. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor S.A. Dosimu. Please, let's give it to Professor Olufemi. Okay, Professor Olufemi, I know who is actually appreciating you too. So please, let's appreciate him too. Distinguished professors, shall we look at the title? Let's look at the title. I have Professor Sulaiman raising up a hand. I also have Professor Dosimu raising up his hand, and Dr. Khadija. Okay, please. Okay, and Professor Laoye. So that in that order, please. So, Professor Sulaiman.
Thank you very much. The only issue I have with the topic is tertiary educational institution. Why is the educational there? I think it's like tautology. The tertiary institution is ideal. I really want to say I realize that even in the body of, especially in chapter 1, we were saying tertiary educational. And my question is, are there tertiary non-educational institutions? And is that why it's been? So I think it's important to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. So you will answer the question. Please take note of it. Let's also give to Professor Dosimu so that he can make his comment.
Professor.
And then you'll be able to collate and respond appropriately.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is more of a protest. As a critical reader, the title of what is given to me is Toxic Leadership Behavior, Followership Characteristics, and their Productivity. I spent time to read this only to get here and discover that the goalpost has been changed. Thank you.
Professor Dosimu, please let me, on behalf of the candidate, apologize. The truth is, somebody was giving, you know, okay, the dean was inadvertently giving the one that was meant for you, and you had the one for the dean. So please, sorry about that, sir. So please, your protest, kindly withdraw it, sir. We appreciate you. Please, let's appreciate President Busumi. That, so you are now the candidate for Mr. Orubon. We appreciate your contribution, sir. And President Olayi will talk. Okay, so your position is aligned with that of President Sulaiman, the candidate we answer that. Please give to President Olawale Adetunji Abiola.
Thank you, the chairman. You see, I love the way the presenter put himself very composed. It seems as if he's a school, Sunday school teacher. But unfortunately, he's a boss. However, one of my critical readers says something about the inclusion of educational institutions. And that won't bother my mind too. But that does not make the work was because we have some institutional tertiary institution in Labour like Europe and some others. So why he put in that educational there is to justify the fact that he's mainly concentrating on the educational area. The board of contention, because I got this thing very late this morning, I'm trying to testify to the level I could do to make the work better. But I love the presenter board of contention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President. Please, sir, we want to appreciate the fact that identifying the candidate as a substitute is still part of the team. So we appreciate it. Now, the team also has a call before we ask the candidate to respond. But, Mr. Candidate, you have the choice of standing or sitting down as the thesis user. So give the microphone to the team.
Thank you, sir. I want to appreciate the coming of our senior colleagues. Permit me not to mention all senior colleagues. We appreciate your presence. It shows the seriousness with which we are taking issue of seminar. So we thank you all for coming. I'm very promptly. And that is why we shall not meet any student in the moment the professors are seated. So students, please note that. Thank you. The title to me is two worded with variables. That's one. All these variables are qualities of leadership. All the variables you have mentioned here, they are qualities of leadership. You talk about participatory decision making is a quality of good leadership. Do you agree? Candidate, do you agree? Knowledge sharing, creativity, and innovative practices. They are all qualities of leadership. They are all subsumed under leadership. It shows the title is not in any way appropriate. However, don't shiver. You can sit down, do right. I can see you shivering already. We are here to improve the quality of your work. Is that clear? Nobody is here to destroy it. We are here to improve the quality of your work. Going through your work, I was able to see information that could be relevant to modification of title. Effect of problem midway, you should take care that. And a key factor in achieving competitive advantage, leadership style, and management approach to problem solving. I underscored leadership and problem approach to leadership. So, and I keep up with this. I want to also agree with Professor Sulaiman that if you say Lagos State Tertiary Institution, it means that your population should include all tertiary institutions in Lagos State. But going through your work, you restricted yourself to the university. So you have to make modifications. Determinants of leadership qualities in higher educational governance. It can be modified. Determinants of leadership qualities. You are looking at each of first century skills, 21st century skills, which a leader should possess. Do you agree? They are 21st century. All these you have mentioned are 21st century skills which a leader should possess. So I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
But you can respond though.
Yeah, he's going to respond.
If you want to.
Thank you. Still on the title. Okay. Professor Ibikunle.
I joined the last speaker to ask that the researcher look more keenly at the title. However, if you want to put all other factors as against innovative practices, usually if you look at tests, creativity and innovation are taken together. So look at how you can use all these other factors, humble leadership, participatory decision making, knowledge sharing as against creativity and innovative practices. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ibikunle, I will now respond.
Thank you very much, sir, for the observations. On the first observation, tertiary institutions are dynamic and many. Some of these tertiary institutions do not award degrees, but some other evidence or certification to showcase that this person has become a transformed personality. So the intention of the researcher is to bring to the fore that his concentration, his focus is on those tertiary institutions that award degrees, either Bachelor of Science, NCE, OND, and the like. And that is why the inclusion of educational has been examined in the topic.
Mr. Ibikunle, please, sincerely speaking, all the faces that you are seeing this morning, we are all here to do one thing, and that thing is to assist students and for others also learn. Please just take note of what professors and colleagues are saying. Are you getting my point? But where you need further clarification is where you should put the clarification. All right? For example, you are talking about educational institutions, higher education or tertiary higher education in Lagos State. All right? According to the operational definition of term, what do you have there? And if you now make it tertiary institutions, what will you lose? Right? Then two, with respect to the title, in line with what Professor Didi said and Professor Godwin said, that most of these things that we have identified, they are 21st century skills. What do we do? They have suggested to us what we can still do to improve the work. We will take note of it. All right? We will take note of it. So, good job, your presence, man.
That's about all. I just wanted to say it's not the explanation you are giving should come in the body of your work. And I think the way that could explain that better is in Nigeria we have our if we say higher institution, they know is that a university, a college of education, or a techno school of polytechnic, and that's all. So that could come in the body instead of putting it there, because basically this is saying there are you don't need to, it doesn't have to be there. Thank you.
Please, Professor Barry, I will recognize you, sir. Professor Tikotu also. Then Professor Barry Joma. But please, Professor.
In addition, sir,
Adogo.
in the body of the work, while defining terms, the term he defined was conventional tertiary educational institution. That was what he defined, not what he has said. So you have to take it.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Professor Tikotu.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm a Romeo believe I want to correct. Tertiary institutions must not all award degree. To you, only institutions that award degree are tertiary institutions. I say that is not correct. Colleges of education, polytechnics, and so on and so forth are tertiary, anything above secondary level. You understand this, please? So I only want to
Thank you very much, sir. Even School of Nursing, School of Oceanography, which other school do you have? Please give the prof, I will call you like, please, Professor Bade, I will call you like, Professor Bade Joma. Professor Bade.
ẹ ti gbàgbé padà bá.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Good morning, colleagues and students of this great faculty. It's just from this title. I'm not comfortable with the title. It is too wordy. Too many things, jammed together, just like the dean pointed out. And with due respect to the HOD, I don't think we can just take note of it. I think we should help the candidates by reframing the topic. It's not something we can just take note of. Like it was pointed out, all those are 21st century skills that are expected of the leader. So let us see how we can take care of that in that title. And in his operational definition of terms, I think sometimes, I don't know how to couch it, it was reflected in 21st century skills. And then in his operational definition of terms, he's not going to change his work. In his operational definition of terms, he will now list what he means by 21st century skills as this participatory decision making, knowledge sharing, creativity, and all of that. But we still have to work on this title, please. Let us do it here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Man. We appreciate your contributions, man. So, Professor Barry.
Thank you very much, Judy. I want to appreciate the Dean and all other contributors. First and foremost, there are different types. I only want to observe, let me put that to me, being a supervisor, I only want to observe that there are different types of tertiary institutions, apart from educational institutions. For example, we have
tertiary health institutions. So that is why one has to be specific that we are talking about educational institutions. I want to agree that the topic looks very worthy, but there are two variables that are key to the study. One is humble leadership. We have different types of size of leadership. Here, the study is particular about humble leadership. In literature, recent literature, there have, apart from the common styles that we are familiar with, autocratic, democratic, etc., there have been other concepts that have come up recently, one of which is humble leadership. So the study is not about leadership in general, but about humble leadership. Now, I align myself with the fact that participatory decision making, knowledge sharing, creativity are 21st century skills. We will look into how to frame that. But innovative practices remain the dependent variable, and we still have to remain in the topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Barry. Professor Adetuji Olaoye. This is a very robust discussion because once you get it right now, you'll be fine.
I quite appreciate the observation of Professor Willa. Indeed. And in line with what Professor Bade just said, it's just that I didn't want to forward too much until we get to the body. Even if you want to use all these words, humble leadership, participatory governance, I put it here in the project. Why don't you frame it that correlate of leadership on creativity and innovative practices in Lagos State, and the body or maybe correlate of leadership styles. Under that leadership styles, you may now say humble leadership, because those are the attributes we are looking at. Participatory decision making, knowledge sharing, on those creativity. Even if we agree on that topic, I still have a lot of a kind of misconception of what the presenter was trying to do when we get to each chapter 3 and 4. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Olaoye. Professor Adeoku is raising up his hand because once you get this right, then especially when we are not going to really miss so many things up.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Professor Barry, you are imagining, sir. I want some clarification, sir. If truly humble leadership is a new leadership style, or is the new thing now, I know you moved from leadership style to leadership behavior and leadership skill. If truly there we have leadership now, then participatory decision making, knowledge sharing will be attributes of humble leadership, and creativity will be subsumed under innovative practices. So, which means the two variables you are going to have will be humble leadership and innovative practices. That's my opinion, sir.
Professor Adeoku, before you hand over the microphone, what will you now suggest to us as a topic? So let's take it.
If we look at it as humble leadership and innovative practices, creative will come. Creative can be there.
It will be subsumed.
It will be subsumed. Give me like a minute.
A minute, okay. Okay. Somebody is raising up hand here. Okay, Professor Badejo and Dr. Aladi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And I want to thank the supervisor, Professor Barry, for shedding light on the topic. To my mind, you may have humble leadership and not even candidate, but I'm looking at semantics now. You may have humble leadership, but you may not have knowledge sharing You may not have participatory decision making, and you may not be creative. And from the explanation of the supervisor, he says the open leadership and innovative practices are key variables. Now, I will suggest from what I have gathered here that we have humble leadership, 21st century skills, and innovative practices in Lagos State tertiary educational institutions or in Lagos State tertiary institutions. I'm not comfortable with education. So, humble leadership, participatory decision making, knowledge sharing, creativity, 21st century skills. As a leader, you must have those skills. Whether you are humble or which other leadership styles, you must have those skills. That is the trend now. So I would say the humble leadership, they know it's a new concept in leadership. You must be innovative as a leader, and then you must possess these skills of participatory decision making, knowledge sharing, and creativity. So I would say humble leadership, 21st century skills, and innovative practices. State.
Thank you very much, Prof. We sincerely appreciate your submission. And I think Professor Adiogo is also nodding his head, to also concur. But let me, Dr. Alabi, please.
Good morning, everybody in the house. Well, thank God for what Professor Badejo had just said. I also wanted to say that humble leadership, this is a new concept, and I think it's very apt in this present age, should not be removed from the title. That is my submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Alabi, so much. The submission of Professor Badejo is highly noted. Highly noted. Professor Barry is also here, and I'm also listening to him too. Thank you, Prof. And I think Professor Adiogun is already concurring with the submission. Thank you very much, Prof. Now let's look at. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. While the program is on, some of our senior colleagues work late. First on the list is Professor Fleming Person. Sir, you're welcome, sir. Professor P.C. Obadofi, mommy, you're welcome, ma'am. Professor J.P. Benu, you're welcome, sir. And Dr. Idot Basi Ofen, you're welcome. Mrs. Phillips, you are recognized. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Please, let's look at the abstract. Let us look at the abstract. Comment on the abstract. Comment. Comment on the abstract. Okay. Maybe if the researcher is able to incorporate this new thing, he will not lose any of the variables that are identified. He will not. Thank you very much. Okay. Professor Apoduni, then Professor Adiogo. Please give the microphone to Professor Apoduni.
I've not read through the abstract so well, but the way those measures were presented, you have to look at them again. Like you said, F in bracket 124.8. No, you've got to show us the dimension of V1, V2 of that F before you now talk about the result. So please check other works to see the appropriate way for presenting those results. There must be a peculiarity. Please check it. And then you don't use capital K's parallel for everything so that there will be distinctions. Okay. Maybe after See me now.
So for Professor Dogo, do you still have more comments? Sir? Okay, please, you will need to see Professor Dogo and Professor Abadoni too, because those things that they are asking you to remove. Now, distinguished professors, colleagues, and students in the house, can we move to chapter 1? Let's look at the chapter 1. Anything that has to do with the tutorial, let's just return it to the students instead of allowing us to waste much time on that. Chapter 1, begin.
Thank you, sir. Let me start by first saying that the presenter has to be careful. Most of the pages are not in paragraph, or can I say one paragraph. Then, the entire background of study was full of clarifications and devoid of personal experience and observation. What I'm saying is depicted by what you wrote under your statement of problem. More than three-quarters of what you wrote under your statement of problem are apt for a background to study. So what you did in the entire background was trying to clarify all the meaning of all the variables in your title. You must have a second look. Part of your statement of problem is more like a background to a study. So you need to work on that. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Okay, that's the background to the story. Yes, Professor Abadoni, sir.
Thank you. Please, I want you to look at this as every one of us, we want you to have a perfect job. It's not just that we are criticizing. So look at it cleanly. You see, the arrangement of the thesis write-up is just put in different chapters, but it does not mean that that is how they have to follow chronologically. The first thing about your work, after thinking about your title, is your design. And by the nature of your title, whichever way you rearrange it, you are using heterogeneous samples. As Professor Akikotu rightly mentioned the other time, you are using the university, the polytechnic, and colleges of education. This can't be homogeneous. The experiences differ. So you can't afford to treat them as if they are just one entity. And as such, when you put your purpose and when you identify your questions and hypotheses, I see the design as in a situation wherein you are looking at those factors against the perspective of those participants from those different institutions that you have sampled. That should be the basis of your research questions and your research hypotheses. As such, what one would expect to see in your questions and research hypotheses is the perspective of colleges of education against polytechnics and against the universities. Not looking at the factors against one another. It is those participants in those institutions that will now be the basis for comparing those factors. I don't know if you understood what I tried to tell you. Let me give an instance. In a particular institution across board, your participants should have included students in those institutions, the staff in those institutions, academic, non-academic. There should also be the Ministry of Education, the way they look at innovation and creativity in those institutions, and other stakeholders. That is how it should be for the universities, for the colleges, and the polytechnics. Now, your hypothesis, if need be, is now when you will say, Do people in colleges of education view innovation and creativity as being born out of humble leadership from the colleges of education, from the universities? Are their views different? That's where hypothesis comes in. And that's what I want you to look at keenly. The statement of the problem, try to identify your problem, try to look at the way other people have approached it, and see what they left out undone, and see what you can do to fill in the gap. And then when you choose your measures of analysis, it should be born out of the kind of design you have and the nature of the data that you eventually obtain. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. It's like you have already looked at it up to chapter 3, sir. We sincerely appreciate. Please let's appreciate Professor Boduri. Professor Badejo.
Thank you very much. I will start from where Professor Boduri started. Now, I would not agree that the students should start comparing the polytechnics, the colleges of education and universities. They are responsible. That means we are asking the student to go back and conduct the study. Because the student has clearly said in his work, and maybe it's not clearly stated because I have the big version, maybe in your statement of the problem, then maybe you have to clearly state that what you don't want to look at is how these variables cut across in all the institutions. We are not using those institutions as the basis for collecting your data. Not that you want to see other corporate leadership and 21st century skills and innovative whatever is going on in Polytechnic. I want to compare the degree of whatever is happening in Polytechnic with that of university or with that of college of education. No. I think he just wants to use those three institutions as a basis for the survey. It's a survey you are doing. And it's a survey. He just wants to see it as a basis. I mean, he has to have some way of collecting his information. And he has just decided, okay, I'll just collect it across all the tertiary institutions. If I decide he also wants to use it at the secondary school, it's just that probably at this level, maybe, but it's just for the purpose of collecting his information. So I don't think there's any reason for him to, or he must not say that he has to now compare what is happening.
Thank you very much.
That's the first thing. The second thing, in my own comments now,
Actually, I'm worried. I think
is
charge
operational definition of terms. And I think when you're talking about operational definition of terms, you're talking how you are using those terms in your study. So please don't create definitions from somewhere and put it to us. Try and paraphrase and explain in your own words, because some you just see it and it's so technical. For someone like me that I will start now looking at what is the meaning of this book. So it's so technical. Just make it simple so that anybody who is reading what you are presenting, you know, it can easily follow. For example, knowledge sharing, the dimension of knowledge management, which involves voluntary, influence, and statutory, transparent communication of people. Just explain it in your words. What are you looking at in terms of knowledge sharing? So that it's so, don't complicate things. Big grammar is not this is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Badejo. In fact, I am proud of this faculty, and more importantly, I'm proud of the professors that we have in this faculty. Please let's appreciate all of them. If you look at it, there is a kind of dimension. And so I'm not going to call on Professor Sulaiman, Professor Adeogun, and then again, they want to also have some clarifications or input to actually make. So, Professor Sulaiman.
Just to add to what I have noted there is that, and I think that probably would have saved, aside from the operational definition, which is already taken by Professor Badejo, he just needs to bring to form the conceptual framework. I think he put it somewhere in chapter 2. It's here in your chapter 1. And all of the variables show that explains what you want to do and how you are going about it. And all of these questions are not queries, wouldn't have been
Prof, are you saying that the conceptual framework should come to chapter 1?
Yes, that should come, yes, immediately after, either before the definition of terms or after. Because you
I think the findings in last is that it should be in chapter 2. We may need to really verify.
I've not seen it in chapter 2.
We will.
I think what I've been saying is you want to see what this job is all about. Immediately you put your objectives and all of that. This is the concept, the framework. How I'm going to your variables and all of that should be conceptual. Of course, we have some conceptual operational definition. So it's the concept you are putting in perspective. These are the variables. This is how it goes, and this is how it's going to be. And these are the key things I'm looking at, especially now that it's removing all of those variables from the topic. So we should see it before going to the literature review. It's not part of literature review. It's part of what he wants to do here.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Professor Sulaiman. Please, there are 3 issues that need further clarification, and Professor Adeopo, the dean, will make the clarification. And the issues are the position of Professor Abodwe, that he should go and look at. Then the second one is that there is no need for that. So please, I have Professor Adeopo. What is your take on this?
Well, on that, when Professor Ife was talking, he has looked at the composite effect, and he has made a comparative analysis. The thing is that what variables together, what been separated. So when I was discussing with Professor Ife, we said, okay, we can quickly work things out between ourselves and see how we can assist the presenter. That's exactly what we're trying to say out now. But for this, I will stop and try to look at composite effect. And unfortunately, if you look at page 77 to 79, 80, 23, he has decided to say, okay, let me now compare these distributions, but with a combined variables. A comparison of distributions as a number with combined variables. And the variables should have been separated so that we know which of the variables is more appreciated in each of the decisions. But we'll look at it like I said.
Look at it. Thank you very much, Professor Adeogun. That's part of mentorship. We appreciate you. The dean.
Yes, thank you very much. I think the position of Professor Abodwe has been well clarified by Professor Badejo. An attempt for the presenter to do that is like starting the journey all over, changing the design completely. I don't think it's necessary. What he should do is to ensure that his position is well captured in his statement of problem. And Professor Abodwe identified that he has not stated any problem, and I want to agree totally with that. There is no problem stated under your statement of problem. It's all about background to your study. Towards the tail end, you were about to hit a nail on the head, but you did not. So I think that has clarified that. Yes, with regards to position of Professor Sulaiman, I disagree, ma'am. I disagree to agree. What do I mean by that? It depends on the format of the PG school. Just like they have said, ma'am, in University of Lagos, in my department, your position is what they are holding on to. If I bring my thesis out, you see my conceptual framework in chapter 1. However, it depends on the format of the faculty or of the postgraduate school. In many other places, they prefer to have it first under chapter 2. And in some other departments, like educational foundations, they sometimes have it as an entire chapter. There is very thin line of demarcation between conceptual framework and theoretical framework. Very thin line of demarcation. They serve same purpose. Theoretical and conceptual serve same purpose. I'm telling you, there are instances, look, not Professor Sulaiman, not all studies have conceptual framework. Not all studies. So if not all studies have theoretical framework, it simply shows that it is an alternative to theoretical framework. They serve same purpose. They serve same purpose. I know what I'm saying. In fact, there was a seminar organized by Lagos State University at a time. They were trying to encourage us to write for Tetfund grants. The seminar was held at the auditorium. I don't know whether you attended. The theoretical and conceptual, they were trying to, and that seminar was facilitated by Professor Martin Anatea. You can Google, you can Google to see. Go to Google Scholar and see whether you have difference between theoretical and conceptual. Very thin, very thin. Thank you.
Thank you, the Dean, and thank you all professors. Please, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Makinde, maybe after Professor Makinde's contribution, we'll move to chapter 2. Thank you, Professor Makinde.
Thank you, Chairman. I greet everyone who are present. Let me quickly congratulate the presenter and also the supervisors who are doing a very wonderful job in this topic. From the contributions of the colleagues, we can see that the thesis is very, very rich. And that is the reason why Professor probably gave us another dimension to it. But as the earlier mentioned and reiterated by Professor Badini, that's not only for that, but it is an eye-opener that the thesis is very, very rich. And it can form part of suggestion for further studies. Thank you very much.
Prof, we appreciate you. Shall we move to chapter 2, ladies and gentlemen? Distinguished professors in the house, chapter 2. Comments? Okay. Information. Professor John Olufemelu.
Sorry, sir. I don't want us to be misguided. The dean has not said that we should drop either of the two. What we are saying is that if there is need for us to have both conceptual and theoretical, we will have it. But if there is no conceptual, we can still take theoretical. Don't let us come here and say, no, the dean has said that one is not the same thing, and one is not opposite. There are some studies that will be based on both conceptual and theoretical. Thank you.
Education. Chapter 2. Somebody raised on Professor Benu. Professor Benu. Sorry, Toby Pepe, I'm so sorry. I thought I was seeing Benu. The nose mask makes us to look more like master.
Okay. Thank you very much, the chairman. Also, I want to congratulate the presenter, the supervisor too. My first information is for all the postgraduate students. On the certification page, the new norm from postgraduate school now is that you don't have internal examiner and external examiner on your certification page anymore. So you only have your supervisor, your co-supervisor, your head of department, dean of faculty, the dean of the faculty, and dean of postgraduates. The two, internal examiner and external examiner, knock out. That is the new norm from the School of Postgraduate School now. That is for postgraduate students. Well, my comments back to the presenter is I have also read your book, especially in the area of theories. Let me say theories. You gave us three theories there, but you did not tell us the originators of those theories. I hope you are getting it now. You didn't tell us who originated number one, participatory management theory, componental theory of creativity. Who are the pioneers? You need to tell us. Take for example, if you are working in the area of work system theory, there is a theory we call work system theory. There is no way you can write about work system theory without credit it back to Immanuel Wallenstein. Are you with me? So if I'm working on work system theory, for example, yes, if you Google very well, you will see that Immanuel Wallenstein is the pioneer who said something about world system theory. So I'm also expecting that in these theories here, you should be able to tell us the originator of each of these theories. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please, the first information you provided is for all our postgraduate students.
Yes, sir.
There is need for every postgraduate student to obtain a copy of the new prospectus. Go to pages, once you are paid, you will get it. Thank you. Then the second question.
Yes, sir.
The new paper you're talking about, when was it published?
Yes, you mean the from postgraduate school?
Yes.
Yeah. I am giving you valid information because that from November, December, I have in our department, we have presented at least 3 candidates at PhD school. So it was then that we were informed that we should do away with those books.
Yes,
Even the last PG presentation we did here, I wanted to pass the information, but I forgot to do that.
Thank you for the information, sir. I think the faculty can write an official letter to the PhD school requesting for this. President Minister, we have this hot arguments over some issues in the department. And I told you about myself, go to the PhD school and make communication. I said, why do I go to the PhD school? I met 3 different people, and they gave me 3 different information. They didn't deal. So I requested for documented official paper. And of course, all those things they say, I never complete those papers. And I have those papers right here in the car, and I can do them. And what I said is not certain. That's why I'm saying that if they're obvious, they should. But I got those things just as things.
Okay. In fact, let me quickly give this information to all the postgraduate students. In fact, before I make this, before I give out this information, because at times information like this, you also need to be very careful of what you want to say. I have to call, maybe I'm still right or not. I called the candidates we presented last year, November, and her name is Ibikunle, to ask her, am I the one that is wrong or correct? Do we still have internal and external examiner on our certification page? He said no, that we don't have it anymore. In fact, on that thesis now,
Professor,
on that thesis now, we don't have it anymore.
The faculty will request for PG school for those documents that you mentioned and the one that Professor Olufemi Adeogun is talking about. So we'll have it on the table of the faculty. Thank you. Before you respond, Mr. Ibikunle, let me take one more question for Dr. Gadijat on chapter 2.
Thank you, sir. I want to believe that is the style of the faculty, the university, that every chapter will start with an introduction. So you should know that wherein you miss or you miss all the subheadings, that means whoever is producing or reading the thesis to know what and what very good or what and what subheadings he will be treated. Two, the presenter should avoid too many sentences. The 10 sentences are rather too lengthy. At the same time, the paragraph, you have a page that is just one paragraph. I want you to watch out for that. In addition to that, the style of the department, I know that we don't say empirical discussion. We call it empirical literature review. Perhaps is a style, it's a nomenclature of the department, I don't know. In addition to the literature, I review literature. We start by saying expert review of literatures. There is something from there. Expert meaning something still existing. I don't know why you are lumping expert with review of literature. So be wary of the use of words and the composition of sentences and paragraphs. Thank you.
That's a golden advice. Thank you very much. But like we'll ask a question with respect to the department. The style is empirical stories. All right. So thank you very much. Now, Mr. Ibikunle, quickly make. It's not different. It's not different from your own. So please, Mr. Ibikunle, can you quickly respond to chapter 2? Okay. Note it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move to chapter 3. Chapter 3. Comments on chapter 3. Dr. Kadijan.
Yes, sir. My comment will be in form of a question, a general question. Should you commence every subtopic with a definition or a citation of the definition of that topic? For example, it says here that the study adopted a descriptive and then it defined what a descriptive design is. I don't think this is acceptable except if it's, again, the style of the department. Must you have a definition of every subtopic before you go into what your study is all about there?
No, it's not compulsory. Thank you. Any other comments on chapter 3? Oh, Professor, what do we say?
Yes. I think above all, I must commend the presenter on method of data analysis. Unlike what we've been seeing before, it is common for our students to be saying, I will use this particular measure to test my hypothesis, as if there will be only one hypothesis. Herein, the individual had applied Pearson product moment correlation for certain hypotheses, analysis of variance for some, regression analysis for some, and some other post-hoc analysis. That is commendable. However, in your design, try to integrate other measures that will be the basis for your comparison. On your page 77, you rightly indicated different institutions, but you lumped all the different categories of your operations together. That shouldn't be done. Try to separate them. Thank you.
We appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. Chapter 3. The team has comments. Give it.
Yes, thank you very much. Very amiable HOD. First, I want to start on a note of commendation. I think the candidate on page 66 did very well with the study sample and sampling technique. He tried to explain the various stages of sampling. However, in 3.4, the research instrument, he lumped up all the variables measured under an instrument. I don't think this will give you the best result, and I will tell you. One, the face validity of your work itself will be questionable to some people. They will say, which kind of PhD did he buy? He used just one instrument. Whereas those instruments can be disaggregated. So why not pay? Two, your respondents, it will have some extraneous variable as well as intervening variable to the quality assurance of what they have done. It's going to be buggy. Whereas if you have separated, it will be better. So my suggestion is look at it and separate into at least three. It makes no difference. It does not alter anything. Rather gives your work improved face validity and also quality assure what you have done. Again, last week we did mention that your scoring technique for every instrument should be well clarified in your work. That guides whoever is going through your work on whether you have employed appropriate what statistical procedure. You remember we mentioned this last week. So try and include scoring technique. It's vital in chapter 3. But I found out that most students just over it. Very, very vital. Scoring technique. Thank you.
So I have Professor Toby Pemeli and Professor Olawi. Professor Toby Pemeli and Professor Olawi.
Sir, okay, they have their own vision. And in the course of your study, the humble leadership and whatever, each person that are on the peak that is governing us at that time. Let me take for instance now, from 2016 to 2000. Do you think they will be of the same humility? That's number one. So you have to give a time frame of where you are measuring those things in terms of innovation and creativity you are talking about. Because they are not the same people and their visions are not the same thing as well. Thank you.
We appreciate you, Professor Adetuki Olani. Now, finally, sir, Professor Sulaiman, so we can move to chapter 4.
I noted my comments there. I won't want to repeat it. I'm giving it. But just that others may pick from it. When you say person product movements and you are putting PCM, it's R. Pressing R is formal role. There are conventional way of referring to them. Please, just to and others, please note that. Also, SPSS is a statistical package for social sciences. No other name for it. What you have there is, and I've seen it in so many other places. So please note there are conventional names for them. Get the conventional name and use it appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you for the information, Prof. Chapter 4. So you have started already, Prof. Okay, we have information for the coordinator.
Professor Abdulrahman Olaiwola from the Department of Political Science, Faculty of Social Sciences, you are recognized, sir. Welcome, sir. And Dr. Ireti Godebobade, thanks for coming.
Professor Boduri, chapter 4. Oh, sorry, Dr. Dari Olufobi, you are recognized. Professor Boduri, sir. Chapter 4.
I must begin by saying that I'm impressed by the dynamic way you handle your research analysis. However, when you use analysis of variance or any of the related data, these days it will be approved unless you had the partial eta square, because it will give us the practical significance of what you work on. Again, I want you, Professor Sulaiman, I told you a lot about the presentation of what you use. However, maybe I will digress a bit to the issue of instrumentation. Once the instrument the individual will be using will still be the same set that all the participants would have to respond to. If you put all the materials in a single instrument, the only thing you need to do in your chapter 3 is to indicate that it is a battery of tests. And then the analysis of its validation may not necessarily be done separate. It could still be in a single analysis, given the different segments, if there is any need for it. So I think I can't really find anything as it is. However, whether you need regression analysis really and justify why you need it. If you use regression analysis, one would expect you to be thinking of making a sort of prediction, thinking of best fit, so that you'll be able to provide a model. If you go to anyone in the science and tech, they are so conversant with tables and the like. This can make you to bring up some tangible models in this kind of work. But if you don't need it, you don't have to go to it. That's why you may be shy. You may shy off from mentioning even certain analysis, because once you say you use them, there is certain thing or certain things that one will be expected that you use. So please look at this thing. Thank you.
We want
I
to
think
thank,
a good job has been done.
we want to thank all our professors and colleagues for their contributions in chapter 4, 1 to 4. Ladies and gentlemen, can we move to chapter 5? Chapter 5. Please, for the references, you will need to see Professor John Olufemi Adoku, who helped you to manage. References, see him. Chapter 5, comments. Comment on chapter 5. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this has been wonderful today. I want to appreciate all of us for our contribution. Please, students, can you please put your hands together for listening? Thank you very much, Mr. Ibikunle. Okay, Professor Adeogun is having a question.
Just a question.
A question.
And I want a response. Mr. Ibikunle, sir. Mr. Ibikunle. My question will come 1A. 1A. If I am writing a paper and I'm trying to cite Mohammed, who cited Owolabi? Mohammed cited Owolabi. Mohammed 2000 cited Owolabi 1960. Which of them are my references? Or both of them? How do I put my references? Reference.
I'm going to reference Mohammed who has cited Owolabi.
All right. Like, I've gone through the body of your work. You have referenced so many people who are referenced by those people you saw. And I'll point them out to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some people reference some people. And so you cited that and you referenced both of them. And we have about 10 or 10 things. Thank you.
Please, sir, I think he has to see. I've just been
1B. What have you contributed to knowledge?
Thank you very much, Professor Jaloni. Okay, somebody is asking you a question. What is your contribution to knowledge?
There is a composite model for which innovative practices can be actualized through that has been contributed to the study. The composite model.
Okay. Thank you very much. Professor Makinde. Yes, Professor Makinde, maybe on the final note. Maybe on the final note.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Looking at the references cited or chronicle, I look at the currency of the references, and I said 45.6%, which is still inadequate. So the researcher should reject very recent literature into the work before the final presentation of my PhD. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you, sir. Professor Toby, are you still on the references, sir? You're always on.
References, sir. Yeah, I know the job has been given to Professor Adiogun, and I know he will do a very good job for us. But I just want to that the presenter should take note. When I went through the references, I observed that it wasn't consistent. Some places not initials, then some years not in brackets, and I saw a place where he said blah 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 chapter 7. So this I'm just pointing out this so that it will also guide our professors, Professor Adeoku. Thank you very much, sir.
We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ibikunle. Well, we'll call on you later when the verdict will have to do. But for now, let's appreciate you.